What's up, addicts? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at Courtland Sutton, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, and giving you guys an in-depth look at what we can expect from him from a fantasy perspective in 2020. But before we get started, if you guys are looking for more videos like this, we're going over 100 players in the NFL, giving you guys an in-depth analysis. So do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. You can also check out our full list of rankings at fantasyaddictionnetwork.com. Just sign up for free. Just got to create a login. But anyway, let's take a look at Courtland Sutton, beginning by looking at 2019. So, really productive year last year, coming into his sophomore season, 72 receptions, 1,112 yards. Didn't really get too much involved in the rushing game and had 6 total touchdowns, even though he had a lot of red zone targets. So he finishes right about the middle of the wide receiver twos, finishing with 222 fantasy points, which put him at 19th overall at the position, averaging 13.9 points a game. So again, a very productive season, especially when you consider he played with 3 quarterbacks. Started the year out Joe Flacco, moved over to Ryan Finley, and then finished the year with Drew Lock. So with that being said, we've already done an in-depth analysis with Drew Lock. You can check out that video as well. What can be expected from Courtland Sutton will be heavily dependent on how the Broncos turn things for and go forward with Drew Lock. Because when they had Drew Lock, their passing volume dipped dramatically. Courtland Sutton was still the favorite target of Drew Lock, but now they've added a bunch of different weapons, and it's going to be, chicken or the egg type situation. Will it be that there's so many weapons that they can't just lock down Courtland Sutton? He's going to be running free, or there's going to be so many weapons in a low pass volume team that there's really not enough volume to go around for anyone to be fantasy relevant. And of course, it could be somewhere in the middle, but if we're going to project the extremes, I'm leaning a little bit more towards there's going to be too many players demanding volume in a low pass volume team. Now, that's not to say that there can't be teams that, there's the whole too many mouths to feed analogy that gets thrown around a lot there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is a low pass volume team, and I typically don't like anchoring early picks to teams that are low pass volume, especially when you're drafting a receiver. It leads to inconsistency in terms of fantasy production. So we can see here, just based on looking at his game log from last year, early on in the season was where you were pretty happy with starting him. You had, what is that, 8 weeks in a row where he scored over 10 points. Nine out of his first 10 games, he scored over 10 fantasy points. Had a wide receiver 1 week in there, mostly wide receiver 2 weeks. So pretty good start to the season. And once we get to week 13, first week with Drew Lock, he goes off, only gets 4 receptions, but he gets 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he finishes the week as a top 6 wide receiver. And then from that point forward, not really happy with the production. 3 weeks where he doesn't even score 10 points. And week 13 through 17 was the Drew Lock weeks. Yes, Drew Lock was a rookie, so there's going to be a bit more development and rapport. We're expecting him to take a step forward in his second year, but it is a little bit discouraging to see all that red, considering that was the time when he was playing with Drew Lock, and now he has to also compete with Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Albert O. Noah Fant is still there. Melvin Gordon is going to demand targets. It could get messy really fast. So last year, Courtland Sutton was able to produce on the fact that he had a 26.1% target share. That was eighth most among qualifying receivers. He had 11 red zone receptions, which was ninth most. Target quality rating was really bad, so he made a lot out of nothing. His target accuracy rating was 89th in the NFL. So Courtland Sutton is a good receiver. I'm not arguing that he's not. But we're coming into a year where the Broncos have 58 vacated targets. And again, they've added Melvin Gordon, Jerry Jeudy with a first round pick, an early first round pick, and KJ Hamler in the second, Albert O in the third. It could be very hard for Courtland Sutton to return the same target share. And as we've discussed in the Drew Lock video as well, Drew Lock wasn't exactly the most accurate quarterback either. So unless he takes a massive step forward in his accuracy and efficiency, this could just be a situation where Courtland Sutton is producing at about the same level of efficiency, but on lower volume, which would make him, well, I guess that would put him right about the wide receiver 3 range, where he's getting drafted right now. You're expecting him to perform pretty close to where he finished the season last year, going right around the top 18, 20 wide receivers off the board. Another thing to note, and again, he was a rookie, so I don't want to read too much into this, but fantasy points when Locke was on the field, he only had 62, which was 26 at the position, averaging 12.4 points per game, which was 36. So basically, he was averaging wide receiver 3 numbers. He had also his receptions and targets with Locke. He still had 40 targets, so that's promising, getting 8 targets a game. He had 22 receptions though, so a little bit over 50% catch rate when Locke was the quarterback. So Locke is going to need to take a pretty big step forward in terms of his accuracy for Courtland Sutton to return value on his current ADP. So we have him projected basically what we were saying before, a little bit less volume. We are giving Locke the benefit of the doubt and giving him a little bit more efficiency. So by nature, Courtland Sutton will end up being a little bit more efficient with the lower number of touches. So we have him at 73 receptions, so going down from where he finished in 2019, but still finishing with over 1,000 yards and giving him 6 total touchdowns. Now, obviously, the touchdown number could change. He could be more heavily involved in the red zone and could easily see like 9 or 10 touchdowns, and that would help his fantasy value a lot. But in terms of his upside, there's a lot of things that would have to go right for him to massively outperform this. Either Drew Lock would have to ignore all the new weapons that he gave and just force feed targets to Courtland Sutton. Drew Lock would have to take a major step forward, which would bring the efficiency of this offense through the roof. Or there'd have to be some injuries to where Courtland Sutton is the only game in town. So there's a lot of things that would have to go right for Courtland Sutton to have to hit his upside. So we don't have his upside ranking rated very highly for that reason. It's not like I expect Courtland Sutton to be a bad pick. There's just a lot of other names around him that I feel their range of outcomes is a bit more volatile and give you a bit more ceiling. So Courtland Sutton is a nice floor play around where he's going. If you take him in the 5th or 6th round, I wouldn't fault you for it. I'm just not overly excited at him being able to turn around and making it feel like you should have taken him in the 2nd round. You know, those are the type of players that I like to target in the 5th round, are guys that I feel are completely undervalued. I mean, he's going around the same place as Robert Woods right now, and I would take Robert Woods 99 times out of 100. So I guess with that being said, I'm probably not going to end up with Courtland Sutton on too many of my teams unless something changes before the season starts. But let me know if you guys think I'm wrong, and let me know in the comment section. But thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we're going to keep doing videos like this, doing over 100 fantasy outlook videos, and hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.